they've never acted on it, and they're trying their hardest, and they're, all these different things. And I was like, wow, I was blown out of the water by, it's very rare that I read something in this day and age that changes my opinion or I hear something. But once in a while it happens, and it's like, wow, did I get that one wrong?
That's an interesting kind of group. So there are a group of people that are basically pedophiles in mind only
Yeah.
and haven't acted it out, and they're doing what? They're trying to find a way to curb their appetite.
Well, they're trying, yeah, exactly, and to support each other and not, because they can't go to counselors and stuff like that because they'll just put them in jail, even though they haven't even acted on it.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
I think that's incredibly noble. I think that's a great, and I think that points out the need for that. That this gets back to thought crimes. We talked about that the
Right,
other night.
right.
And that I'm sorry, even though I know, like even our laws, right? We don't normally punish people for thought crimes, but for example, if let's say the FBI hears that there's a plot to kill the president or assassinate the president or to rob a bank for that matter, and they feel they have enough evidence to enter your house or to get a search warrant, and they come in and there's plans and there's blueprints and there's bombs in the corner, you still haven't committed the crime. I think even though it looks painfully obvious that you're going to, I think that's what sometimes distinguishes people is that we should have the freedom to act upon this impulse that I want to see what it's like to rob a bank, and we should be able to play it all the way through up until the point we actually do something. I think anything in the form of planning, thoughts, talking about it is irrelevant if you don't actually do the act.
I completely agree. What was that? There was a movie with Tom Cruise where they had those three muses, not muses, but sirens of some sort, and the three truths that could dictate whether you were going to do a crime or not.
Oh, I remember that movie. Yes. What was it called?
Minority Report. That was.
Minority Report. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, and that scared me. I don't want to live in that society.
We're pretty close. I mean, we already arrest people. Like I said, in some circumstances, we will arrest people for, um, um, planning, even if they haven't done it yet. Um, I don't know. That's one of those weird situations where I'm like, I kind of understand it. It's like if I break in your house and there's a blueprint there of the bank and you got a bunch of TNT in the corner, it seems like you've already crossed the corner, round the corner, right?
Right.
When you go to get the TNT, we're kind of all right. Now we're. But again, it is frightening because again, it's that slippery slope. Who decides? Who gets to read your mind and decide when, in fact, you are actually going to carry something out when you haven't done it yet?
I know. And let's face it, we've all thought some bad thoughts before. Like, somebody cuts you off in traffic, for instance. I could just kill that bitch. But you don't.
I have that thought every day. You'd be throwing me in jail every day there.
Well, that's just it, too. I mean, if you want to arrest pedophiles for what they might do, then, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit leery about saying this on live, but if that's the case, I should be in prison for thinking about murder. Most people don't know this about me. By nature, I'm a very, very angry, very, very violent person. I've just worked my entire adult life to curb those impulses, but in my mind, I've killed so many people.
Right.
No reason whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that group that you talked about. I think they're admirable in that they're sort of trying to form their own Alcoholics Anonymous, kind of a support group for themselves. But I also think that it's sad that they can't go and get professional help without running the risk of being incarcerated or being put on a list when they in fact haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah, it's very sad.
And I think that's part of the reason that we have problems like that, and I think that's part of the reason that we have so much of that, where it seems to be such a rampant thing. And I think it is because, in fact, it's not like alcoholism. The people who know they have a problem with that cannot go and get help ahead of the point in time when they actually commit a crime. They're kind of just left to commit the crime, and then we arrest them. Whereas if I'm an alcoholic, if I think I'm an alcoholic, I can go to a group tomorrow, walk in and say, "Hi, I'm Carl, I'm an alcoholic," and I've got, all the help that I need and support that I need, without somebody passing judgment. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, that's what most of my things were about. People seem to just misunderstand. Although Sullen Angel must have just looked at my pictures from my vacation because she +1'd them all, so that accounts for at least 5 or 6 of these. She likes the chocolate. She likes the houses. She likes the sign. And she likes the I had a good time. Sullen, you're so sweet. Oh, and she liked that was a good one. Did you see the one I posted the other? That's kind of weird. Somebody commented. Now, okay, that's just weird. Somebody posted on one of my things and mentioned J.K. Rowling. That's just, weird that I would just watch Harry Potter. Did you see that one I posted about how can chromosome numbers change? We did it yesterday, the day before.
No, what's that about?
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, not many people. And it was an excellent. Pharyngula did this great explanation of a topic that came up in a Hangout that I actually had yesterday. This guy, he's called Teacher of the Bible, Jack Coons. That's his handle. And
oh yeah, I know him. Uh-huh.
Okay, he was stating on his soapbox that evolution is impossible because it is impossible for something that has one number of chromosomes, a set of chromosomes, to give birth to a child or a generation that has a different number of chromosomes. So he says there simply is no way. If you've got 23, you always have everything you have produces 23. And he was insistent on this. And I went and I found this. Of course, it took 2 minutes of Googling, right? But this is just an absolutely extraordinary explanation. It is layman's terms. It's with pictures, little drawings, and he does it just extraordinarily well of exactly how you can get either more or less chromosomes from a birth, without the child being infertile, and it's a wonderful. I
understand Down syndrome.
Yeah, well, but the thing with Down syndrome, though, right, is it's trisomy, right? So it's 3 chromosomes with the same packets of genes. And I think he was referring to, but you're right, it is exactly what it is. But I think he was referring to like a new chromosome, or not just an extra copy of one that's already there, but something different. Yeah. But in any case, yeah, there's the. That's the link. If anybody's interested, I thought it was just one of the better.
What's really interesting is I've never heard anything like it, but I just until now there was a guy that apparently was born with, and I'm not going to get this right. It was XYY or XYX or something like that chromosome.
Yeah.
And he got stung by a bee and and started getting breasts and everything else, and then went ahead with the sex change.
From a bee sting?
From a bee sting. There was something in it that brought out the...
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Oh, keep me away from a bee's nest.
Yeah, but it was always in him. I mean, he always had this, like,
yeah.
He does have X and Y or XX.
So it was like one of them was suppressed for whatever reason, and the chemicals, whatever in the bee sting, unsuppressed it, and...
Yep.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, I've seen all sorts of things on the internet that I never thought I would see. A guy with 2 penises. I mean, I'm like, wow, anymore.
I'm afraid I need to ask. Were they both functional?
Yes.
Real independently? Or did they rise and fall together?
They
Oh, gee.
Sorry.
Wow.
How could I not? I'm sorry. I'm trying not to picture this in my head, but okay.
And so I was like, I had to see the picture of it. You know what I mean? I'm like, are they top, bottom, left, right? Like, they're left, right. But a lot of people have them where they don't, apparently there's about 150 people in the United States, men, that have this situation. But a lot of times they're not both functional. His are.
Okay. Well then.
It was a big article in the Rolling Stones. You can check it out. Just Rolling Stones.
There's so many questions I could ask that I really shouldn't, especially if we're live. So never mind. I'll ask them when we're off air. Poor Reuven.
Yeah,
Reuven starts to hang out. This is where the conversation goes.
Yeah.
Were they? I'm just curious. You know.
Were they what?
Was he Jewish, and were they both circumcised? And do you get charged double for that?
Neither of them were circumcised, from what I can remember.
All right. 2 for 1 sale there.
I mean, well, it doesn't normally, most mohels don't charge for circumcision. At least I didn't.
Okay, well that's good. But if there were 2 there, you might have to consider that. I am wondering if no, no. Never mind. Okay.
It's not. I mean, you can go to Reddit and you can see all the questions that he asked and answered. And there's nothing inappropriate. I mean, people asked everything. There's nothing that there isn't an answer for on Reddit.
Probably not. Nonetheless.
Right.
Oh gosh. Nonetheless. Okay. So.
Sorry.
Yes. Those penis. Thanks, Reuven. Nice. Oh, God.
There's actually a warning label on the transmission belts of a number of armored personnel carriers in the Army. It actually, so from Hebrew to English, it reads, "Do not stick limbs or sexual organs onto belt while in motion." And I really want to know the story behind that sticker.
Why? Yeah, how did that come about being needed?
I have no idea. I assume drugs were involved.
Who decided that? Some guys were having fun at the sticker printing factory. Wow.
I'm sorry that I brought it up.
Yes, because now I just can't get it out of my head. I have to ask. So okay, so ejaculation, does it happen in both at the same time? Are they synchronized? Is it like synchronized swimming, or do they go off independently?
Well, I don't recall that one, the answer for that one, but I do remember that one of them is more dominant, but he can orgasm from both.
That's so nice to know.
Oh, wow. There are so many inappropriate things that could come from this problem. This poor guy.
I mean, most of us, after the first time, we have to wait a bit before there's a second. This guy can just rotate through, I guess. Okay, you're up. Batter on deck. Yeah, that seems a bit. If he only had, Gav, this is for you only. If he only had one of them circumcised, did he fulfill the covenant?
That I would have to do some serious research.
I'm not sure.
I would imagine that they would both have to be done. Honestly,
you might have an opportunity here, kind of like a wiki article, to add to the knowledge of the knowledge of Judaism here, and write your own commentary on that particular subject. It may not have ever been addressed before.
No, I mean it addresses androgynous people who are born with both.
Yeah, both parts.
Right, and they're required to be circumcised. But
both parts, or just the male part?
Just the male part.
Just checking there. Okay. So you have
I have no idea how someone with 2 penises. My knee-jerk reaction would be to say that they would probably both have to be done, but
I'm not sure how you would defend that. I
have no idea. I actually have a phone conference with the main rabbi that I used to study under.
And you're not going to bring this up, are you?
I probably will, actually, because now I'm actually interested to see what the answer is.
I'm sorry.
No.
Apart from the women, in having sex and all that. Okay. First of all, I guess the other question we should ask is, do they both point in the same general direction, or is it like one forward, one back? Ermine?
I'm sorry, what?
you're the two penis expert here. Do they both point in the same general direction, or is it one forward, one back?
It's left and right, so they do both point in the same direction.
They point in the basic out front. Okay. When he has to urinate, he doesn't have two bladders. Which one does he urinate from?
He has a primary.
Oh, that would be the primary, the dominant one. Okay.
Ejaculate from both, and he can pee from both.
And he can't pee from both. Okay. Well, that's probably a plus in some circles. All right. So, for some bizarre reason, this is a difficult.
It's just mind-boggling.
This is a difficult conversation to really to have here. He'd be one of the few people that could cut it off and not be a eunuch.
Very true. He's bisexual. He's in a committed relationship with another guy and another girl. Like, what do they call those? Well, committed.
Okay.
Oh my God, I forget what they call it.
All right. That's kind of, yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I think I've exhausted that subject, I hope. I haven't, but I think I'd be happy if I had. Oh, my.
I'm really happy. I very rarely fry anything, but somebody got, because they know I love to cook, and the only thing I don't have is a deep fryer.
They got you a deep fryer?
Yeah, and it's great because I used to have one years ago, but it was so hard to clean because you need to me, I like to take out the oil, and it's like, this is the fish oil, this is the whatever. But this one, everything comes apart. So everything with the oil is in, it's a big tub, and it comes apart, and I can easily wash it. I'm like, dang, somebody was thinking.
Good, awesome. That's kind of cool that somebody bought you a deep fryer. That's very nice.
Did you see the wine rack someone bought me?
No. I wasn't someone, so no, I didn't see them.
See it on the wall? It's called a riddling rack.
Oh, hang on. Oh, yes. Okay, so how does that work? Are they sitting there by the front, by the neck?
Hold on one sec. I'll put one in.
Okay.
Yeah, they do go by the neck.
Oh, I like that. That goes right up to the.
Yeah, sorry, my hair's like buck wild today.
That's very cool. Is that made out of cedar?
Oh, I thought you were talking about my hair. I'm like, yes.
No, the rack.
I don't know.
Not your rack, the wine rack.
Yeah, I can't believe I just went live on air with my hair looking like that.
It's okay.
I'll go back off.
Go back. There you go. Okay. Oh, my. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the last couple of weeks, I've been seriously considering just killing my Google account. I keep changing my mind at the last minute. I don't know.
I've decided to limit it to an hour a day. That's it, starting on Sunday. That's cool. You know, I get to meet up with people because the conversation has started to get, in my opinion, a little bit stale.
Yeah, not a little bit, a lot. I think, I'll end up in a bad hangout, and then I'll resolve I'm going to kill my thing, and then I'll get in a nice hangout like this, and then I'll go, yeah, but this is really nice. I don't want to miss this. I just want to get rid of the other crap. So.
Right. It's kind of hard sometimes.
This is why I only go into certain hangouts with certain people, and as soon as certain people show up in those hangouts, I'm out.
I do this. Well, and this is, you remember a while back, this is what I kind of recommended, and I got slapped on the wrist a little bit for it, but that's okay. But I kind of, I guess I kind of was trying to get a dig in at the people like Alex Potton and like JD, and I'm like, you guys whine and bitch and complain about G-Man, but yet you chase them to be in their hangouts all the time, and you invite them in your hangouts all the time. I'm like, it's a little hypocritical here when you bitch and complain about how stupid they are, and then those are the people that you always invite into your hangout. I don't, I guess if it's just for showmanship maybe, but I don't get it. Yeah, I got one last night, and G-Man was there. First thing I did was leave. So I'm like, I had no interest. There's nothing he could possibly say that would be of any interest to me or that I want to hear, or, he has no desire to really talk. Yeah. And that goes, and unfortunately, it seems to go for most of the Christians. That's weird. I mean, I know we have kind of atheists that are assholes too, but it seems to be almost almost Hermione, present company excluded, but it seems to be almost all of the Christians. They're just like, why do they seem to have so many of these guys that are just unwilling to have just a civil conversation? I don't
I don't know what it is, but I gotta tell you, any church I've ever been to, they would have been thrown out.
Oh, that's probably true. I suspect that that's, is true. But I guess online is different. Different
Very
community
different.
rules.
Well, yeah, most churches, I think, have standards of decent behavior. Google does not.
It doesn't seem so. Oh, my.
Yep, Google lets it open for everybody to act a fool.
So, Gav, I've got to ask what that sign says in Hebrew there that I can't read.
It's a book cover of a book I'm promoting. Translated, it's called Industry of Lies. It's about media bias.
Oh. Is it only in Israel, or is it something I could get on Kindle?
You could probably get it on Kindle, but it'll still be in Hebrew. I'm not aware. I don't think it's been translated into English, not yet anyway. But if I remember correctly, the author has plans to translate it.
Oh, good. Okay.
Almost done cleaning. I wanted to cook, and so I was like, oh, I'll make my menudo tonight, because it's like, menudo is really stinky. Have you guys?
Oh, yes, I know.
Yeah.
No.
So you have to drop in these anise. It's like dried anise, or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just drop them in there, and you make sure, and it, like, for some reason, it just neutralizes it. I don't know who figured it out, but thank goodness. So I like to cook it at night when no one's, when everyone's asleep,
Yeah.
taking all that smell. But I had to clean the kitchen first because my kid wasn't doing her chores. She's so busy with applying for scholarships.
Yeah. How's that coming, by the way?
Well, she got into 3 schools: Pace University, Chapman, and University of Colorado. She didn't get into USC, Southern Cal.
Okay.
That was a stretch school, so whatever, it doesn't matter. The
Right.
problem is Pace University offered her a $19,000 scholarship, but it's about $58,000. CU didn't offer anything so far, except potentially some financial aid. But it's
Right.
only, if she lives at home, it's only $13,000 a year.
Right.
Right, for tuition.
Yeah.
And Chapman, she got into their theater program, which is a really good theater program.
Yeah.
For a bachelor's of fine arts, but it's
Yeah.
$61,000 a year.
Yeah.
So far, no scholarship. So I'm going to call all the financial aids and just beg for money.
That's all you can do, right? Hopefully.
And see which one ends up. Because if I can get Chapman for the $13,000 that I get CU, it's a no-brainer. You're going
Right. You're going there, yeah.
Right, but if Pace comes out and they're like $13,000, you're going to Pace, right? Because at least then you can model, you can do some things, but you got to get out of state. And if none of them come with anything serious, your ass is going to CU. Why? Because you can get out of college with $20,000 in loans. I can pay for half. You can pay for half on your loans, and then it's like a reasonable payment for 5 years.
Right.
You can pay $600 a month for 5 years when you get out.
Yep.
And you build your credit, and you'll do fine.
Yeah, that's what everybody does. Yeah, schools are just some schools. I think, in spite of their reputation, I think they're still clearly overpriced. But not much you can do about it. This is like when my son applied, and I said you got to go down there and stand there. And when one person says you're not qualified for something, if you think you are, you need to ask a different person. Yeah. And I told him, I said, I promise you, there are people that are working there that don't know everything or have incorrect information in their head, and they're not right. You need to get to the person that really understands the program that you're trying to get into. He's like, well, they wouldn't be working there if they didn't know. I said, oh, that's not true at all. It's, yeah, people make mistakes all the time. But
Yeah. Okay.
it's 10:45. Whew.
I always forget you're East Coast.
Yeah, I don't have anything to do tomorrow. I'm not going to church or anything.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
I would assume not.
I'm going to go. Well, you don't assume. I'm actually was going to go. I was going to pick a Sunday. I actually was going to do it when my wife was out of town, so I don't have to get ribbed for the rest of the week in-house as well. But I was going to. But yeah, I might. I don't know. Maybe I'll pop in for Easter or something. I don't know.
Easter is always the same service, but it's nice.
Oh no. I'm gonna go to Easter with a T-shirt that says "I rose. Take what you can get." Um,
I'm doing a ham this year for Easter, a spiral ham.
all right.
That'll be nice. And then I'm doing, I'll just do potatoes, probably like asparagus and
Yeah.
cabbage.
Sounds good. Sounds yummy.
Yeah. Keep it really simple. And it's more than enough. And then, so I probably got another $20 of grocery shopping. But I went to Costco, and I don't know how I did it, but I walked out of there and only spent $67.
Yeah, nice.
Miracle.
That is pretty close to one. You might have convinced me on that one. Oh crap! I forgot to make coffee for tomorrow morning. I'm in hot water already. Okay, never mind. It just dawned on me when you said Costco. Crap.
Oh, is that where you get your coffee?
No. I roast my own, but I forget sometimes to roast it the day before. So tomorrow morning there are no roasted coffee beans to grind and make coffee with, and my wife is going to be upset.
Well, why don't you take a break from this hangout and go roast some?
Because it's kind of late to do it. They really should have 24 hours after they roast. But I probably will, just so I can say that there are some. Yeah.
Right.
Right. And they may not be the best, but hey, they're there, and there we go.
I'm trying to save marriage here.
I hear you. Yes.
Always come back to the hangout.
It's right up there on this. Okay. All right. Let me go throw them in the coffee thing. I'll be right back.
All right. Oh, I didn't realize that people roasted their coffee beans like pretty much daily, or you know what I mean? Like I'm not much of a coffee drinker, so.
Oh, I'm the world's ultimate coffee snob. It's my way or the highway. I won't drink coffee that I didn't personally make.
Wow. Good for you. So do you roast your beans too?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I just have a couple little drip ones, and then when I have parties, I have one of those 50 cuppers that is like for restaurant use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just hook it up.
Yeah, I see. I can't drink coffee from a regular dripper. It's not coffee to me.
Yeah. For me, it's like whatever. I don't care. I just don't have, even with soda, I can't tell the difference. I mean, I can slightly tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi, but it's like I don't drink it enough to be able to tell. Like, whatever, dude. They're all the same. Pepsi Max, Coke Zero, whatever, can't tell the difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the people who argue about, like, whether or not regular Coke is more healthy or less healthy than Diet Coke, I was like, really, when you break it all down, the difference between regular soda and diet soda is a choice between diabetes and cancer.
Right.
So like,
take your poison. Pick your poison. That's really good. That is so funny. That's so true.
I mean, it's just a matter of, what medications you want to take when you're 60.
That is really funny. Yeah, I've tried to go organic as much as possible, but definitely natural. I can't entirely afford organic.
Now, organics, a lot of it's a scam too. It's basically you're paying for a label, and there's not a whole lot of difference in content between what's in an organically labeled can of corn and one that's not. So.
Well, a lot of times you're right. Corn is a bad example, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. let me rephrase that. Corn's not the best example because so much corn is just it's so bad on so many different levels.
Right. It's a starch to begin with, the sugar.
But they have this thing called the Dirty Dozen. So those are the only things I buy organic. So like strawberries, because there's just 12 fruits and vegetables that are really like have the worst amount of Roundup, this, that, and the other, that if you can just stay away from those and just buy those organic, you'll be in a really good position. So that's what I do.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Tomorrow, apparently, we're having Java, Sunda, Andes, City Plus to Full City Plus, Bittering Baker's Cocoa, Toffee Candy, roasted nuts, sugary sweet, and a clean balanced cup. Good for espresso. But we're not having espresso, so we'll see how that goes.
That's funny. I was like, what are you reading?
Oh, the coffee bean. Yeah. Description.
Yeah, I understand now.
Okay. All right. What are you doing? What's all that banging?
Sorry, I'm doing dishes. I've been doing dishes.
Oh.
And I just have 2 more to do, and then I'm done. But that's the banging. The pots and the pans and the water and what have you.
La, da, 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 da.
Do you guys ever bake your bacon?
No.
I don't have a very big established relationship with pork products.
Yeah.
I think my wife might have once or twice, but not that I haven't, no.
I thought about it after it came out.
Well, she did it, I think, once, sort of this attempt to make bacon a heart-healthy product, so it wasn't bathed in grease. But to me, this is like, this is like having a diet soda with, an entire birthday cake. It doesn't really help. It's still pretty bad for your heart, regardless.
I was trying to find a different way because I just used the baking sheets and then I put aluminum foil. But now I'm going to probably start putting aluminum foil and wax or something because now the aluminum foil is starting to stick, and I'm like.
Well, I would think if you took the bacon strip raw and take a metal skewer and kind of slide the bacon strip onto the skewer, kind of like you do a worm on a hook, right? And slide it on, and then just kind of set a couple sticks in the ground so you could balance the thing on there. You could probably use like a blowtorch or something to cook the bacon.
I was with you until the blowtorch, because what we do is we make this sriracha bacon.
Okay.
It has brown sugar and sriracha.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like the best bacon, and you put it on skewers like that.
Yeah. I was just thinking you could use a blowtorch, just cook it right up. I suppose you could do it with a magnifying glass. It might take significantly longer, but that'd be kind of weird out there in your driveway with your magnifying glass trying to get the sun just right.
Well, then there's Reuven, who eats bacon almost every day because he's American.
Yeah, I go for that. I would eat. I'm sorry, but I would eat bacon every day. I love the taste of bacon. Not in everything. I should qualify that. I do not like bacon on my pizza, and I'm not overly fond of bacon bits in a salad. I'm like, give me a strip of bacon, and I prefer thick bacon, like maple cured thick bacon.
That's what we get. Yeah.
Not the paper thin Waffle House thing that tastes like.
We get that when I make my cabbage, I use the paper thin stuff.
Yeah.
But when I use anything else, I use the thick stuff. I
want a big piece of bacon if I'm, with eggs or whatever. Or I think the ultimate bacon food is filet mignon wrapped with bacon around it.
I love bacon and are they called dates?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dates are called dates.
Gosh, they're so good.
When we went to San Francisco, we wait a minute, was it in San? No, I'm sorry, this was in Vegas. We were in Vegas. There was a one tapas restaurant there in the hotel, and my wife didn't want to go because she says I always have bad luck with tapas restaurants. I'm like, well, okay, let's try it out. So we went there, and it was very much sort of a roll the dice. The first thing we got, I forgot what it even was, but it was just not what we expected. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But then we got these stuffed dates, and they were to die for. I could have eaten a million of those.
Yeah.
They were awesome. And then there was another thing there that was really good. What the hell was that? I don't remember. And then there was some other, kind of okay, but it was nothing special things. And then as the last thing, which was a mistake, they had this thing. It said pig skin, fried or whatever pig skin, right? Fatty, greasy, tasty. I'm like, okay, because we'd already gone through like 6 or 7, things, so we weren't really that hungry. I thought, well, okay, some pigs, that'd be kind of cool. Yes, what they failed to tell you is the pig skin came on an entire pig. So when they brought it to your table, baby pig, my suckling pig, right? But they brought an entire, 12-inch suckling pig to the table after we're already full, and I'm like, wow. Yeah,
You're like, take that back.
we couldn't eat that. Yeah, but we did eat some of it just to try it. But yeah, I think the little tail sticking out the back, the curly Q tail, turned my wife off. She wasn't a big fan of that.
That is so point. I remember going to a birthday party for Filipinos. They have these huge first birthday parties. This kid's birthday party was unfreaking-believable. But they roasted a pig.
Gosh.
Big old thing. They had the most expensive wedding cake, right? Like, it would have been a nice wedding cake, and it was a kid's first birthday. And I felt bad. For my kid's first birthday, I cooked a bunch of food, got her favorite cake, and let a bunch of teenagers party at my house, and I went to sleep.
No, I don't even know if we did anything for my kid's first birthday. I said, happy birthday, and I think that was it. I think at 1 year old, they don't really, what's the point? But
every culture is different, so.
Well, somebody had an interesting comment, and I thought it was, and I agreed with them, I think. They're worried that with our globe becoming, shrinking continually in terms of, connections with other people, that the distinct cultures that we used to have globally are now all being sort of subsumed and into this sort of just this nondescript generic quote culture, or whether it's American or not is I don't know, but that they are all sort of just, in one sense, I mean, if, for example, it used to be that you had to go to a particular country to get a particular dish of food, let's say. Well, now every restaurant in the world serves that same thing, regardless. It's almost like nobody has anything unique or special anymore to offer. It's just sort of this bland, I don't know, get everything anywhere. Can't get horse dishes, that's true.
It's never the best version of it, right? It's always some, like you said, bland, watered down, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's probably true too, because no one ever. It's one thing if you're making it as a recipe in your home for 4 or 5 people. It's another thing when you've got to mass produce it. So yeah, it's never going to be the same. But yeah, it just seems like all our cultural uniqueness is quickly fading away.
Yeah, and I hate it.
I do too. I like the idea of going to a strange land to see strange things, not going to a strange land to see a McDonald's. I want to experience unique and different things, but there is very little anymore that is very unique or very different.
Yeah, well, that's what people get when they look to John Lennon's Imagine as a philosophical model for how the world should look.
Yeah.
People, I get the whole point, nothing to kill or die for, but there's also nothing to live for at that point either.
Yeah, I don't know what you're right. I mean, I don't know what the answer is, because as soon as you can easily get to these places, I guess it's inevitable that the cultures are all going to start blending together. I don't know that it's worth keeping everybody separate, but gee, I wish there was a way to Um, I guess we can still kind of get off the tourist route in some countries, and you can see sort of an original, maybe some original things.
Well, I think modernity in general has ruined a lot of indigenous cultures. Um, if you go to like the Negev Desert in the south here and you visit, there are a number of Bedouin tribes
Hmm.
that up until 50 years ago, they were basically living the same way they had been since Bible times. Now you go to a quote-unquote Bedouin village, you can tell it was thrown up that morning for tourists, and under these traditional robes that all the men are wearing, you can see that they have on blue jeans and
And they're carrying an iPad with them. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah, that's just one of those weird things. It's like I don't want to force somebody to not be able to participate in modern technology, But on the other hand, I do like the idea of, I don't know, being distinct, or people having something unique or different. Um,
Yeah.
oh well. Yeah, there's another thing that, who knows? You can imagine what it might be like in 100 or 200 years, given how far it's come already.
Yeah. Well, thinking 100 years ahead is very depressing for me because I'm a pessimist. So
Well, I'm a short-term pessimist, but a long-term optimist. So I think I'm the same with you. I think thinking 102 years or 200 years ahead is depressing. I think thinking 100,000 years ahead for me is, I can still be an optimist at that point because anything could happen. But yeah, I mean, at some point, I suspect that we're going to go through the elimination of nations and borders, and we'll just be a homogenous, be Pangea all over again. We'll just be one, one humanity, I guess, if you will. And again, I think that's got pluses to it, but I think it's also got a lot of minuses to it.
oh, see, I think that's where the conventional wisdom would have us going, but I think it's probably the opposite is going to happen because of a number of factors. I think the world is going to get a lot more fractured,
Do
and
you?
the not so far future either.
Do you think it's going to become fractured because people feel that they are losing their identity, and so everybody's going to try and break off and establish their own somewhere in some small little, corner of the world?
Well, not only that, I think a lot of identities are simply going to disappear. I think I'm of the opinion, I think the human overpopulation is one of the biggest farces of our time. It's a big false scare. I think by the middle of this century, we're going to start witnessing a massive decline in human population.
For what reason?
Lack of fertility, increased warfare, diseases that we're not even currently trying to develop. I mean, they made a prediction not that long ago that in sub-Saharan Africa, tuberculosis strains that are resistant to antibiotics could kill as many as 1 in 3.
Do you remember did you ever watch Stargate when it was on, Kev?
No, I've heard of it, though.
Okay. There was an episode toward the end where they encountered a race that was very benevolent, came to help, brought all this cool technology and, cures for all these diseases and so on. But it turned out that this race was actually a conquering race. What made them different is they were extraordinarily patient to the tune of 100 or 200 years worth of patience in order to conquer. And what they had done is given all these technologies and all these cures and everything else, but they had put into the global water supply a chemical which rendered most women infertile. But not enough to raise red flags initially, but sort of a slowly increasing over the years to the point where the fertility rate was only 2% or 3%, basically just letting the population eventually die out, and then they would take over the planet. Anyway, but
Wow.
yeah, very insidious, and but when we talk about like terrorists, and we talk about they get a virus, they get chicken pox, they get measles, mumps, whatever else they can unload on the world, and we don't have any vaccines. Imagine if somebody could come up with something that was basically undetectable, at least to our current science, because we're not looking for it, that they could inject into the water or air supply that would render, let's say, had a 50-50 chance of rendering any woman infertile that came in contact with it. I mean, that would be incredibly devastating. And by the time we found out, yeah, we'd be down to like the last woman that could give birth. I think there was a movie about that too.
Yeah, The Children of Men.
Children of Men. That's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of a.
I
That's
like the
kind of
way
scary.
China's doing it. Talk about patient.
What's that?
I like the way China's doing it. Grow up mass billion. I don't even know what they're up to
Yeah.
in terms of population there. Then have the population settle all over the globe, right? Have a still strong population at home, but settle all over the globe. Build businesses, grow, help economies. You go to Africa now, my family's telling me, it's like, it's got to be 20% Chinese in Cameroon.
Oh, I can promise you it's 20% Chinese in Las Vegas, and it's probably 40% in San Francisco. I just looked. Chinese population is 1.35 billion people as of 2013.
That's unbelievable. That's great.
Yeah.
And then, they excel. They're, whatever. Not all, obviously not all of them, but do great work, do great things, and little by little you just start to run the show, man.
There's a stand-up comic. He's an Indian guy. I can't think of his name. I think Peter something. But in one of his stand-up sticks there, he's got he does this piece about brown people are taking over the world, and he says we might not get you today, we might not get you tomorrow, but eventually you're going to be humped by a brown man, and you're gonna and the whole world is going to be brown. All white people will be gone. It'd just be Chinese, blacks, everybody else, and everybody's skin is going to end up just being sort of a nice coffee color.
It will be. That's what they're saying. Europe is. I mean, I've heard that numerous times.
Yeah. Oh, he does this funny little thing in his thing. Sorry, I'm not going to get this right. I shouldn't even start this. But he does this like, what if somebody from here marries somebody from here, and if I can do one of them right. Oh yeah. He says if a French marries a Greek, they'll produce little freaks. Or or what's the other did? If somebody from Jamaica. Oh God. Oh, was it Jamaica and Holland? They would produce little jalapenos. He has this whole list. He goes through like all these countries, and he comes up with some really, really.
That's funny.
He does. They really are funny ones.
Iceland and Cuba is the ice cube.
Ice cubes, yes, ice cubes. There you go.
Yeah.
And what the hell is his name now? I gotta go look up his name.
Is it Aziz Ansari?
Is it what?
Aziz Ansari?
No. His name is Peter or something, I think.
Oh.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Yeah, Russell Peters. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Russell Peters. He's really funny. Anyway, yeah, that'll happen. I think it'd be interesting to see. It's interesting to it's kind of morbid, I guess, but it's interesting to think about what's going to be the next big disaster. I mean, the obvious things are okay. Somebody drops a nuclear bomb, but beside that, I mean, is it going to be is it going to be the big EMP bomb that eliminates all of our electronics and sends us back to the Stone Age? Is it going to be, like you said, is it going to be a plague or a virus of some kind that starts just wiping out mass numbers of people? Is it going to be a big ass meteorite? Is it going to be like watching that movie with Bruce Willis and
oh yeah,
where we get a big meteor that comes and just demolishes half the globe basically.
Well, I think it's going to be something that people are basically self-imposing on themselves, actually. I mean, the reality is a lot of societies, especially the more industrialized, successful societies, are simply not having children at replacement rates, and they're not fully aware yet of the implications that's going to have down the road. I mean, it's going to cause a lot of instability in a lot of places when there aren't enough people to fill jobs to run an economy.
Well, I guess on the plus side, then there won't be, the unemployment rate will go down.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a job. That would be interesting. I, I can't imagine that. I have a hard time with that one, Gab. The only reason I do is every time I go to Walmart, I see people there with 35 kids each, and I'm like, it seems like we have way too many kids still being born.
Stay at
No,
home.
nowhere near enough. America's fertility rate is below replacement.
No.
Yeah, the only reason it's at replacement, it's actually currently at replacement. That's only because of Hispanic immigration.
Okay. Huh.
I mean, Canada's and virtually all of Europe's has been well below replacement rate.
But isn't that something that we should be able to see in sufficient time to rectify? I mean, it doesn't take that long to have a kid.
Well, I mean, once it drops below a certain point, there's nothing that can be done for it. I mean, once a culture reaches a certain threshold of a fertility rate, it's almost impossible to reverse.
But is it the fertility rate is down for medical reasons, or is it simply down because people just don't desire to have kids anymore?
It's a willful cultural suicide. Japan and South Korea are actually the two biggest examples. The Japanese, I mean, they've kind of degenerated into this mindless hedonism. They don't really see a future for themselves, and they simply opt out of having children.
Huh. They say, I don't know. I imagine
Russia's the same way. Ukraine and Russia. If current projections are correct, Russian will be an extinct language by the end of the 22nd century.
Huh.
Well, that's because they kill off all their population.
But I was thinking that's true though too. You hear people talking. For example, French. When I was in high school, this was the language everybody learned. Right
Mhm.
now, I don't know anybody that speaks French that doesn't have a direct reason to learn it, like their family speaks it, or they need it for work. I don't know. Certainly, Chinese, English are still up there, but again, I think that just reflects population.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There was what I was going to say is I know I've seen some comments, in talking about animals that typically there are built-in mechanisms to control overpopulation in a group of animals. Depending on the animal, some of them become homosexual. They don't breed anymore, or we stop producing females, or they start going insane. They start killing each other, or they whatever. But nature seems to have in a lot of populations this sort of check and balance system that won't let the population get too high. So it's not unreasonable to think that something like that won't happen with humans as well.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, and the reality is the medicine industry, the diseases and the conditions and the circumstances that we try to prevent health-wise, we're so invested in curing problems that already exist, we haven't even begun to think about diseases that could arise. I mean, to think about it, we keep on incursion, further and further into the jungles in South America and Africa, the likelihood you find the next Ebola that's only worse.
Yeah.
You have no way of dealing with it. I mean, nature abhors a vacuum, and it has a way of, as you said, it has a way of course correcting itself.
What's the right way to approach it, though? Because on the one hand, we're not reproducing enough to keep the rates up, and yet we are bending over backward to extend the lifespan of people that already are alive. Should we stop doing that as well?
No, I don't see that as being connected. Really.
Well, I mean, in terms of overpopulation, in other words, we have two ends to the population problem. We've got the people being born, but we also have this idea that that we want to extend. So now, instead of the population dying off, typically at 60 or 70 years old, or in the past, 40 or 50 years old, it's now that same generation is now going to live to be 80 or 90 years old. So you make the problem worse, don't you?
Yeah, that is if the birth rate stays steady, and that we don't really see evidence that that's going to happen, though. I think that we're going to see, especially in Europe, Japan, North America, we're going to start seeing populations start to decline within a century or so, as in like the overall total numbers start to decline because of low fertility.
I got a pop-up that says I've got to leave the Hangout here because Arcane's coming in.
What?
He's on my block list, but apparently he's...
No.
If I don't leave the Hangout, then he comes off my block list.
Oh,
gotta go.
please.
Oh, no. That's not what happens.
No,
Sure.
please don't leave because I really don't want to deal with Arcane.
Okay, I said continue. Okay, he says, is this Arcane? No, this is the beautiful. Being a Christian is a choice, and so is discrimination, and fuck you for saying otherwise. I see, we're right back to the nice conversations.
Your sarcasm is so... I love it.
The fact that someone can understand why people would discriminate against someone for being born a particular way is fucking stupid, and I can't believe you don't see that. Don't invite me to these hangouts again. I don't need this bullshit. Okay. Oh, this is to a different hangout, apparently.
Oh, I was going to say.
Okay, that's a different hangout. Oh, okay, it wasn't for this one. Hey, Judah.
J-Dubs. Okay, hey, J-Dubs.
I don't know Judah.
It's J-Dubs.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey.
I guess we have a couple Reuvens today.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I got some no sugar added on accident cranberry juice. Oh,
You got some what? No sugar added?
cranberry juice.
Yeah, you have to have sugar with cranberries.
Well, I just water it down and it tastes fine. But
Really bitter. Oh.
yeah,
okay.
it's very bitter. But,
Hey, it's no fun.
I'm telling you guys, ever since I had Graves' disease, my taste buds have changed.
Really?
Things that are very pungent now, where I didn't used to.
Oh.
And very spicy. Oh my gosh, people can't even handle the level of spice.
I really want to have this. I really want to have a hangout someday where there's that. You guys probably heard that seed or whatever that you can get them. They're not illegal, but they change your taste sensibilities dramatically. So you chew on one of these seeds and you spit it out, and then for the next half hour or so, things taste totally not like what they are. Like you'll have a taste of banana, but the banana actually tastes like a ribeye steak. Or
wow.
Oh, I mean, totally. I mean, not even closely related. It totally changes the taste entirely. It changes how your tongue, the chemicals process sugar, I think. And so it'll last for a half hour and then passes. And you can buy them. They're online. You can get these things. Miracles. But someday I want to get one where everybody buys a bag, and then we have a hangout and just put a whole tray of foods and veggies and fruits in front of us and just start eating them and then telling everybody else, then freaking out over what it really tastes like. I think that would be a fun hangout.
It's probably the only way you're going to get me to eat chocolate, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I mean, it may end up tasting like a beer, or a glass of wine. I love chocolate. I bought a whole. I'm a little bit milk intolerant, but not too bad. What's the word I'm looking for? Not milk. Help me out. Lactose. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Yes, a little bit lactose intolerant, but I couldn't help today. I went down. There was a quart of Borden's Dutch chocolate milk. I'm like, ooh, I haven't had chocolate. It was between that and Yahoo. I haven't had chocolate milk in a long time. So, yeah, it was good.
My kid was so nice when I went on a conference. She told me that she hid all my alcohol from Grandma because she was worried that Grandma would be like, "You left her here with the alcohol?" I'm like, "Yeah, how nice of you. What was really going on?"
Oh, man.
I have stupid written on my forehead. Come on now. So does your wife make menudo? Not really, from Colombia.
No.
I want to
not at all.
whip something up that she makes.
What's that?
I want to learn to whip something up that she makes.
She makes a pretty mean macaroni and cheese. Here's a book. Oh.
Not American, Colombian food.
I know what you mean. I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. Let me try and read this without knocking my whole book things over. You can get this on Google, or I can read you a recipe if you like. Can you see the book?
Oh, The Taste of Colombia. Okay.
Let's see here. Now let's see, it's not quite time enough for the Christmas thing. Oh, I love shampoos. Shampoos is great, but I don't think you can make it here. Well, cloves, cinnamon, that's fine. But there's something else in here. No, that's not. No. They're missing something. Okay, that's not right. Guinea pig. I got you a nice recipe for a guinea pig here.
Oh gosh, no! Are you kidding me?
You don't have any friends that have an extra guinea pig laying around now?
Nothing furry.
Nothing furry? Oh my God. Okay.
I tried.
Cows are furry.
What is it?
Cows are furry.
Oh, they have hair.
Well, you can shave the guinea pig first.
That's worse.
I tried rabbit once, frog once, snake once, possum once, and
Yeah.
alligator once, and it's like never again.
All right. Well, fine. Okay then. So I have to skip a bunch of pages then.
Are
Let's see here.
pupusas Colombian?
No, those are, I believe, Puerto Rican,
I was thinking Ecuador. Okay.
or maybe Ecuador. And of course, Colombian is one of those countries that has very regional foods. So it depends what area you're in as to what you're going to get cooked. Let's see. I'm trying to find something that's odd, a little bit odd, but doesn't require any ingredients that you can't get. So the guinea pig was a good start, but okay. Think of the guinea pig.
I think I'd get in jail for animal cruelty for doing
Nah.
here in the States.
Just tell everybody it's a regular pig. They won't know the difference.
All right. Cleaned up. All I gotta do now. You want the olive oil?
Empanadas, yeah, those are all very different for everybody. This is more the dessert area. I think I'm straight into. How about tongue and tomato sauce?
No, well, I mean, I'm already doing tripe. Should I go all the way to tongue?
All right.
You'd be asking for trouble.
That's okay. All right. Now this is the one that I want to do some year, and I always forget. Blackberry Mistela. That
sounds great.
It's a liqueur. It's very simple. You take 1 pound of sugar syrup.
Yeah.
6 cups of aguardiente, which is a Colombian liqueur.
Yep.
And 2 pounds of ripe blackberries, cleaned. Put all the ingredients in a glass jar and allow to repose for at least 2 months.
Wow.
Add a bit of fresh water if desired to dilute strength, strain, and bottle. So basically, if you start that around October, you would have a nice Christmas present for your friends at Christmas.
I do that every single year. Well, I get a lot of my liquor for free. Some of my clients are.
See, there's a perfect one for you. Just throw it in a glass jar and let it sit for 2 months.
Yeah, I always do. I buy the ball jars at Costco at the holiday season, and boom.
Beans with pig's trotters. I'm not even going to go there. Let's go to this region and see what they have to offer.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm going to have to try that.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna lay down.
That's a weird thing. Salted potatoes? I don't think I want to. Yeah, it doesn't sound that tasty.
Not so much, eh?
Curd with panela. Yeah, Gav wouldn't be very happy here. Seems like there are a lot of pig recipes in Colombia.
There are a lot of pig recipes pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Very good point. I love me some pig. But
I think they're cute, but I can never eat one.
You never get to try it. How about a roasted young goat? There you go.
Nah,
Okay. Roasted ants, I got a recipe for.
that's a no-no.
Okay. Tripe with chickpeas.
What the hell is tripe?
Cow's intestine.
We're good. No, no.
Rabbit casserole.
That's what's in menu though, is stomach lining.
Yep. How about rabbit casserole?
I don't do fur.
Oh God, shouldn't do fur. Well, why should I cook the fur? Um, maybe this is why culture is dying. Because you won't eat anything with fur. The only thing left is McDonald's. Um,
I had that for the first time in years the other day.
what? McDonald's or fur?
Yeah.
McDonald's.
There's like 4 McDonald's in the entire world that I can eat at, and they're all 4 of them are here.
You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. I still don't eat there that often.
How about viudo de pescado? Do you like fish?
Love fish.
Well, see, this is a good one there for you, and it's got way too many ingredients for me to read, but let me just make sure there's nothing you can't get. Water, green onions, garlic, big red ahi. Ahi is,
Yeah, I hear ahi.
okay. Coriander, cumin, green plantains,
Yep.
potatoes, you're good there. Cassava,
Yep.
okay. I don't know what arrachachas are, but you need 4 of them. Pumpkin skin or pumpkin capaces. I don't know what capaces are either, but you need 8 of those. Yeah, see, we're definitely.
It's all right.
Guava rinds. You can make that. I don't know.
It's cool.
Wait a minute. You might do this one. It's called Juan Valerio. It's 4 green plantains, a pound of bacon, 2 stalks of green onion, finely chopped, and salt to taste. Peel the plantains and bake them in the oven preheated to 300 degrees for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, fry the bacon to a crisp. Pound the plantains with the onions and the salt. Add the hot, crisp bacon and roll the mixture into balls. Serve promptly.
That sounds great.
There you go, see. No fur required. Yeah. I know, roasted pig. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I grew up in a house with parents from Eastern Europe, which is a part of the world where they eat all the parts of the animal that, in my opinion, you're supposed to throw out.
Gav, I swear we're related. I'm the same way. I'm like, no, you don't eat that part. Yes, you know. Eyes, no. Eyes get no. You don't know. No, nothing from the neck up. Okay.
Yeah, no. That's why I still to this day can't eat fish because we had fish every single night for dinner, and it wasn't just like fish fillet. It was a whole damn fish.
That's how my wife
fins,
eats it. She gets a whole fish.
eyes and all on a
Yeah.
plate, and I
Yep.
can't do it anymore.
Yep. Not for me either. That must be a genetic thing. I don't know what it is, but yeah, no. It's like I went to this restaurant in Mexico, and I went down there one time. My friends took me out to this place that serves goat. So all they serve is all the different ways you can think of preparing a goat and parts. And you order it by the part. So you can order just goat stomach, goat rump, goat head, goat neck, goat chest, goat feet, goat, right? Get the idea. And so I'm looking through the menu trying to find a part that doesn't sound like I don't want to even look at it, much less eat it. So I ended up with goat chest. I'm thinking like that's a chicken breast, right? Yeah, it wasn't really, but no.
Could have gone for the thighs.
Thigh might have been, maybe a better choice in hindsight. I knew I wasn't going for the goat head. Somebody else went for the goat head on the table, and it just came out on a plate, cut off at the neck, sitting there staring at you, ears flopped over. And they're like, ooh, the eyes are really a delicacy. In what fucked up culture are the eyes a delicacy? Really? Who sits around the campfire and goes, hey, the hell with a porterhouse? Only have an eye. It's like, really? That's just, I can't ever imagine that. That's me. Eyes are not something that should be eaten.
I agree.
It's like,
Even on fish, I can't get with it.
I'm surprised the human race actually survived, given all the foods that repulse us.
Well, today.
Well, I mean, I had to think back then too. People couldn't possibly have been really fond of eyes. Even the guy that goes out, the goes out and comes back with a deer slung over his shoulder. Even there, I'm like, give me the meat. Don't give me the guts. I don't want that. I don't want the head. I don't want the. No, I still would be like, just give me a nice steak. I'm done. Throw the rest away. Go kill another deer. All right, guys. It's 11:30. I do have to go. I gotta go get some sleep. I'm getting tired here a little bit, and coffee's done.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Take it easy.
I will do my very best, and I will be back here tomorrow, hopefully. And
it is tomorrow here.
Oh, well, we'll be tomorrow here soon too. We're gonna catch up. Oh, I don't know. I wish we could go to another planet. See, that's something I'm thinking. That's something else I'm thinking. Like, I understand space exploration. I really do. I think it's wonderful. I don't mind spending money on space exploration. But I think, reasonably speaking, we are never going to get to a point where we get out of our solar system. All right? And so it seems sort of useless because when our sun blows up, everything in this solar system is gone. So it's not like making it to the moon or to Mars is going to ensure the survival of the human race. I don't know. Maybe it will for a short while anyway.
Yeah, I would love to space travel, hopefully in the next life.
Yeah, we thought of space travel and we're thinking, imagine going to another solar system somewhere else, somewhere where the journey takes you, 10 years or 20 years or, multiple generations even. Yeah, that would really suck.
Yeah, that would suck. But...
I mean, yeah. It's not like you can commute. It's not like you're gonna get, hey, let's go visit my cousin on wherever the planet is. It's never gonna happen. And by the time you got there, you probably wouldn't even know anything of your own history, not anything practical. I mean, all you would have at that point is stories and books. And yeah, that would be kind of bizarre. And for the women, it would be, I think, especially bad.
You think?
Yes, because you'd be in space for your entire life, right? In a weightless environment. Then you step foot on this planet and your boobs drop down to the ground.
That's hilarious.
Just because, there's no gravity in space. All of a sudden, floomp, they're the guy that's got the hottest girlfriend all of a sudden finds out he's got his grandmother by the time you get to the planet.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well that would pan out, but I can't imagine. That's one of those things I have a very hard time imagining that we will ever colonize space and get anywhere with that.
Well, to be completely fair, I think most people in the early 1800s thought it to be the realm of pure fantasy that we would ever get to space at all. So.
Yeah, it's true, but it seems like that. It seems that the things that we thought were impossible and that eventually we learned to do, they seem to be growing in difficulty exponentially. So first, God knows people probably in some European countries couldn't figure out how they were going to get over the mountains to get into Switzerland or get out of Switzerland, and then it became, can we get to the New World? Can we get to America? Then it became, can we get to the moon? The distance keeps getting greater, and I think at some point it becomes, you're just not going to ever get there regardless. But that could be wrong. But I won't be here to see it. So unless we invent a drug to keep me alive forever, I'm really holding out for that. How long would you like to live? If you could live, if somebody said I've got a magic pill that will keep you alive and healthy, okay, for an period of time. So they make the pill for whatever the period of time is, and then you die normally. Would you want a pill to keep you alive 10 years, 500 years, a million years? How long would you want to live? No second chances. You don't get to go back and then take another pill or anything. It's just,
I would reject the pill. I just want to live out my natural life.
Really? You wouldn't take a pill at all, not even to get a little bit of an edge?
Nope.
Wow, that's interesting. See, That wouldn't cross my mind, I don't think at all. I definitely would take a pill. I'm not sure for how long.
Trying to think if I would.
I mean, it's not a super pill. Yeah, you can still die. Right? I mean, if you still get run over by a car, you're still going to be dead, but you won't die of any natural causes.
You would take a pill that would extend your life by any more than 100 years. I would say the statistical possibility of you dying by some type of accident becomes almost a probability.
Well, that's possibly true. You know, it is. Um, Although I suppose if I knew I was not going to die from natural causes, then I almost would never even need to leave my house. I mean, I wouldn't have to worry about, um, going out and getting sick and going to the doctor and that type of thing. But whatever. I don't know how long I would want to live though. Okay, let's rephrase the question. What if what if it's a time machine? What if you could go somewhere, spend a day, or go some time period, spend a up to a year maybe, and then come back? Where would you go to then, if anywhere?
I could go somewhere and spend the time for a year and come
Yeah.
back.
Yep.
I'd go back in history and spend more time with my kid when she was little.
But you'd go back in your own lifetime then.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. How about you, Gav?
Again, I don't know that I would at all.
Even that? Really? Wow. Okay. This seems so strange to me. Reuven wants to live as long as possible. Yay, Reuven. Um, I
Yeah,
think
but will I have the same health? That's the problem.
the same what?
Health. Like,
Help or health? I'm sorry.
like the health that I did in my 20s? Absolutely.
No, 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 no. You would be you now, just back in that time.
No, no, no. I'm talking about, like, okay, there was two questions answered.
Yeah,
Asked.
yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I just meant with the time travel one. No, you would be you, whatever you are now, but you get to go forward or back and spend a year in some other time period.
What would you do?
I don't know. I am torn between past and future. I mean, there are things I would love to know,
Right.
which would require to the past, but I think ultimately I would go to the future. And here's I think the reason why. I think if I went to the past to learn something, there's no guarantee that anybody else would believe what I had to say anyway,
Right.
right? Whereas if I went to the future, even though they still wouldn't believe me, at least it would maybe, hopefully, give me some incentive. It would give me sort of hope for the future, assuming I went there and it was good. So then I could kind of live out the rest of my life. I think I want to go to the future. I think I would want to go, and I don't know how far. That's the other weird thing. Um, because I guess if there's some sort of a guarantee that if I pick a date, it's not the day after the Earth blew up, right? And I appear there in the vacuum of space. Yeah. I mean, as long as somebody can tell me that humanity does still exist, and it's actually, I could go. Then I think I would want to go as far out as I could. I think. I don't know. Weird. It's a weird question, I know. Are there pills to make you live shorter? Yes, there are a lot of those.
Right.
Yeah.
Hemlock, arsenic. Take your pick. Um,
Carl, I don't know if you buy any of those less expensive California wines. There was a big article in the
oh
paper
yeah.
today that they have more arsenic than they're legally allowed to.
Oh, good.
Of them, from like Gallo to. See, next time you buy wine, you might want to.
I had a glass tonight, as a matter of fact. That's good to know. I may not wake up tomorrow. Thanks, Ernie.
No, but just pick a different. Pick a different.
Pick a French bottle. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, I can do that. Oh man. Yeah, I always thought time travel would be kind of interesting.
Nope, don't want to know.
The other thing I find interesting too is As long as you can't change, as long as there's nothing you can do to change the course of events, I'd be happy with it.
Okay, yeah, that seems like a reasonable request. Yeah, you don't want to screw up your own life accidentally.
Right.
Um,
You know,
although that also means that you can't go back and get the Marty McFly, sports almanac and make yourself a millionaire either.
Right. That was in The Time Traveler's Wife. I would go for a what's it called? A big winning on the lottery.
I would
yeah.
too.
I don't know if I agree with that you can't intervene in history if you time travel, because God knows I'd like to find Hitler's pregnant mother and throw her down a flight of stairs.
There was so
That's
much more there's
hilarious.
so much more gentle ways you could have done that.
Oh my gosh.
I think you could have caught her in the kitchen and stuck her head in the oven. It would have been a
The
foretaste of
problem I
things to
had
come.
with the Hitler is, if it wasn't him, I felt like at that time it would have been some other crazy numbnut.
Well, maybe
Well, yeah,
not.
there's so many people I would have to kill if I could intervene in history. But no, it's. I mean, I don't know. Like Abraham Lincoln, you accidentally bump into John Wilkes Booth, and he, falls down and gets hurt. He's not able to carry on the assassination. You've just irrevocably altered the course of American history.
Right. Right. That's exactly. You're so funny.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, if I could, changing history, that's too easy. I think there's like you said, there's so many things there that we would all like to do. But but that's the whole point is, we don't really know, right? So you go back and you go back and you kill. I don't know, go back way back. Who are we gonna kill? We go back and we kill. Crap. I'm trying to think of somebody that really is important, but that we all know.
The assassination, I mean, not that they didn't get assassinated all the time, they very often killed each other.
Yeah.
The Roman emperors, you could,
Right.
I think you could severely alter courses of events by taking out a certain emperor in time. I mean,
Sure. But it's the old thing though. You take out an emperor and then you don't realize that he was connected, however remotely, to Albert Einstein, and you're like, well, screwed that up.
yeah.
Whoops. Yeah, that's always the problem with that. It's kind of funny. Did you ever? This is sort of my theory on this, and it might be wrong, but did you ever teach a class about anything where you have students in your classroom, right? And there's always one person with their hand constantly up that you would just like to just kill right on the spot, right? The guy that asks, wants to talk about something right when it's time to go to lunch and everybody's dying to get the hell out of there, and that guy. But it seems like when that guy leaves the room, my experience has been there's always somebody else to immediately take his place. It seems like it's sort of this unspoken waiting line, a chain of assholes, and the biggest one is the guy that starts. But then if he leaves the room, somebody else inevitably takes over that position. I wonder if that's true for good people, right? So I wonder if in the last 100 years, all the people that we know, that are famous, that did something beneficial for society, right? We take out the Albert Einsteins, we take out the Martin Luthers, we take out the Abraham Lincolns, we take out, if all these people never existed or got killed beforehand, would the universe sort of spun up somebody else to actually take their place? In other words, would we really be without that knowledge at this point, or would it just have fallen to somebody else to figure out? I tend to think it would have. I think somebody else would have stepped into their shoes. I think a lot of times, the fact that Einstein's there, sort of, I suspect that his shadow sort of eclipses other people who are doing that same kind of work, so they never get heard by society. Whereas if he wasn't there, then I think one of them probably would have stepped to the forefront and done the same thing. Maybe not, but.
Yeah.
All right, I'm off to bed. I said I was going, and then I didn't go. All right. Good night, everybody.
Take it easy, Carlton.
We'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night.
Yep.
Bye, Reuven.
I wish you came more often now. It's nice to have them.
I agree.
Well, he's always thinking. Sometimes it drives me nuts, but not really. I just don't know how he deals with some of the people he'll deals with. I feel bad.
Nah, you shouldn't feel bad. Oh wow, it's warm out today.
What is it? What's the weather?
I have no idea. The thermostat thing is turned off, so I don't really know what it's a digital readout, but it's definitely warm. I just cracked the sliding door on our balcony.
We had a gorgeous day today. Spent most of it inside working, but that's okay. Happens. I actually went to lie down, and now I'm not that tired. I feel like I should do some more work. Yeah, I think I will. I'm mad. I went to the dollar store and bought a broom, and it broke. That's my life. Talking to a friend the other day, and we were laughing a pretty good one. Do you guys ever do this? When you go to the gym, you work out, you have fun working out, do your little thing, but for some reason when you get to the gym, you drive around for 10 minutes looking for good parking. Why do we do that? Okay, maybe it's just me.
What's the question again?
Why is it people will go to the gym to work out, and on their way to the gym, they will drive around for a couple minutes looking for good parking? That's a pet peeve of mine.
I don't know. I just park in the first open spot and I'll walk the rest of the way. I don't care.
That's what I would think too, especially when you're going to the gym. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Well, it's like those people that go to McDonald's and like, oh, I'll have two. It's like, oh well, I'll have two Big Macs, two large fries, and a Diet Coke. Like that's saving your health at this point. It's like just get a regular Coke, dumbass.
I agree. What is the point of a Diet Coke at that point?
Right? Yeah. You just taken in the carb and protein content of an Ethiopian child for a week in one meal. A Diet Coke is not going to make a difference.
It ain't saving you anything. Not a single thing. Yet we do it. And it just makes me chuckle every single time. Like, what on earth are we thinking? But